Hi everybody, it's Jim with RV with the Tanners, and today I'm going to talk to you about a new water pump from Lippert. The model number is DS-01233-D. Yeah, that's a mouthful. So down below this video is where you can find the link to Amazon to take a look at it. You don't have to try to remember that model number. I'm going to talk to you about the pump itself. First off, it's a self-priming pump. So the odds are pretty good if you're watching this video, your water pump has gone out in your RV and you're looking to replace it. The nice thing about this water pump is it can start dry. So what that means is you don't have to have water in each of your hoses, the one coming in and then the one going out, and then try to put water into the pump before you cycle this. You can have the hoses kind of empty some of the water out before you hook everything back up. You hook it back to the water pump, and then it's ready to go. You don't have to worry about it if it's dry. It'll start and flow just perfectly that way. Powering it, it's a 12-volt power supply, obviously in your RV. Positive and negative. Lippert recommends that you put a fuse in line here, and the only gripe I have about this is I think they should have put it in for you. You can see this, the power cable here does not have that. I've got one here on the side that we're going to use for the demonstration later. It's a 15 amp fuse, but I really wish they would have put that on. That would have been nice. It has an impressive pull power, so this device can pull water from 6 feet below it. So I'm not sure of a lot of RVs that have a water tank that is 6 feet below the actual where the water pump is, but it has a capability, so it might not be in an RV. It could be in a different situation where you need the tank to be 6 feet below where your water pump is. It can also pull from 30 feet away, so horizontally. If you have like a large toy hauler where maybe the water tank is in the middle of the RV and you want the pump in the front, it can pull that from 30 feet away, so that's pretty nice. Mounting this. If you're going to put it back where it was, it's probably going to be straight down on the floor itself. But you can mount it in different directions. So you can mount it on the wall, you can mount it on the ceiling. The one recommendation from Lippert is if you're going to mount it on a wall, they recommend that you mount it in this fashion so that the pump is on the top, the motor is on the top and the pump is on the bottom. So if anything should go wrong and the water starts to leak around the pump, the motor doesn't get damaged, and then you just have an easy time fixing this, and it's not costly in order to actually send it back and get the pump and the motor repaired all at once. To do the installation, there's a kit that comes with it. First off, I'm going to show you this nice filter that comes with it. They recommend that you hand tighten this only. You can see that it comes apart fairly simple. It has little pieces inside, so depending on how often you camp and what kind of water supply you're pulling from, you might have to do this once a year or twice a year. You just wash out this little screen filter, rinse out the hopper, put it back together. You're going to hand tighten this back together. Just snug. Don't get a tool and over tighten it, guys. It's not necessary. You'll end up breaking something. And then this goes on the inlet side of the pump itself. The last recommendation from Lippert is that you use a flexible hose. They say a 1-inch hose and not that solid hose that comes in most RVs to connect to the pump itself. I recommend probably a 3-inch flexible hose, and that way some of the vibration off of the pump itself doesn't start to move down the water lines. So do what you want, but I recommend a 3-inch hose on that. The other part that comes in the kit itself is this hose connection, and this is where you would tighten it onto the pump itself. And then this is where it goes into the hose. It's 3 barbs here, and that goes into the hose. They recommend that you do not use any kind of a Teflon tape, and the reason is basically twofold for that. If you put Teflon tape over this, it basically goes over the barbs, and then it creates an easy path for water to go up and over the Teflon tape and then drip out. The second reason is if Teflon tape starts to deteriorate over time, what's going to happen is if it's on the outlet side, it's going to go down your water out to another faucet, maybe your kitchen or your shower, and then it's going to start to clog that. On the inlet side, if you have Teflon tape on this and it starts to deteriorate over time, it could get sucked in. It's either going to get caught in this filter, and if not, it goes into the pump. Then you have a lot of other issues that you don't really want to have to worry about. Finally, we're going to talk about the pressure itself. So there's an adjustment on the front that's for their rapid cycling. So if you're ever in a situation when you're dry camping and you're turning on the water for washing dishes, or you're taking what's known as a Navy shower, you turn the water on, you turn the water off, you might hear the water pump trying to cycle over and over and over. In order to avoid that, they have a screw up here on the front, and from factory, they allow you to turn it clockwise, 1.5 rotations. So what you can do is if you have that kind of chattering, if you're doing the dishes and you can hear the water pump trying to come on and off, come over here and then turn that clockwise 1/2 rotation, go back to what you were doing, try the water again, turn it on, turn it off, and see if that's resolved the problem. If it hasn't, come back and make another half turn, and I bet at that point you're no longer going to hear that, because what it's doing is just increasing the pressure point where the pump needs to come on and where the pump would go off. So that's basically the water pump itself. What we're going to do next is go outside. We have it connected on the workbench, and we're going to do a water pull test. Okay, so now we've got it all set up. We've got the pump ready to go. So we're going to show you the setup. Then we're going to run 3 gallons of water through and time it, see how long it takes. So what we've got here, I screwed it down to some blocks of wood. I've got a decibel meter. We're going to see how loud the pump is. And then I'm going to hook it up to 12 volt. Remember earlier I said to make sure you have an inline fuse, so we have that ready to go. So we'll start it up, and then I'll start the timer. Alright, so over here, I've got a 5-gallon bucket of water. It's coming through 6 feet of hose, through the pump, through the filter, and down to 3 gallons. You can see it's flowing pretty fast. That's pretty good. So if we look at the decibel meter right now, I'll stop talking. And that's reporting about 64 decibels, which is pretty good considering this is out into the open and it's not enclosed in the underbelly of an RV. So it's going to be really a quiet replacement for what you're running today in your stock pump. Looks like we're about 2 gallons there. So what we're going to need is, I'll bring the phone down at 40 seconds right now. I'll come down here. And it's the 3-gallon mark. 1 minute, 10 seconds. So it's pumping that. So you can, it's a really neat pump. It's quiet. You guys can really hear that probably over the video here. But very impressed. So if you're looking to replace your RV water pump, look no further. This Lippert device is really a nice device for your replacement. Thanks.